Welcome to the Swimming from Home talk show. I'm here with
Hello.
Annie Lazor. So I usually it starts with me asking about your last few weeks, just kind of how this all escalated and what that
Yeah.
was like from your perspective.
Yeah. I think I was maybe thinking about this like a week or so ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I was with like Lily and Cody, and we were like, it's wild that, 2 weeks ago at that point in time,
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks ago, we were in Des Moines throwing down really great in-season swims, like ready to make the Olympic team. And then
Yeah.
literally exactly a week later, we didn't have a pool to swim in.
Yeah.
So like, just the complete 180 turn of events is, it's just crazy. But so with that being said, I feel like my situation is pretty similar to a lot of pros who have been training in a university based program. We got our pool shut down like the weekend before women's NCs was supposed to happen, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So we only maybe had like 2 days after they announced that NCAA's wasn't going to happen. And then we really had to like scramble it and find a pool. Thankfully we had the YMCA in Bloomington was still open we probably got like 5 or 6 practices in there, maybe like
Okay.
4 days or so.
Yeah.
So we swam there for like half a week, and then they were closing down. So we had a pool at one of our teammates' like hometowns that we were able to still swim in, that they were like going to keep open for us. So we swam in there for a week. It was about a 2-hour drive. So it wasn't ideal. We would only swim once a day. We'd drive down one day and swim, stay the night there, swim the next morning and drive back. So we'd have like 4 days at home, 3 days, down there.
Yeah.
So that was not ideal, but we had plenty of space. There was, we were able to keep it in like small numbers for what like kind of the mayor was asking us to do. So we were able to do that. And then Indiana went on a statewide shutdown. So they're like, yeah, sorry, like you can't train here anymore. So that was like a week and a half ago from now, I want to say.
Okay.
So we were there for like about a week. We did that for about a week. And then, when we found out when we were like in the middle of practice during that time, they're like, yeah, like we got to shut it down. So Ray was really good about it. He was like, you know what, like he kind of modified the practice. So we still like got in a workout, but we kind of knew something was up. So, Ray kind of took us out and he's like, you know what, like we've been just so over our heads stressed about, cause that was at that point, the Olympics was still happening. It was still going on. It was still happening. Nothing had been canceled yet. I think that the next day after we got shut down was when the Olympics, they came out and they said that they were officially going to be postponed. So
yeah,
that was like a huge relief. Yeah, he was like, you know what, like they're going to announce it tomorrow. Like, let's all like go home and like take a breather. Like you all need to kind of unpack and we'll kind of figure something. I'll try and figure something out this week and we'll go from there. So I drove home to where my parents live in Detroit. It's about a 5-hour drive from here in Bloomington.
Okay.
So I was there for a week. My brother goes to Michigan, so he was at home doing his schooling. My dad still kind of works from home, and my mom was there as well. So a nice little family time for a week.
Yeah.
Usually I'm excited to go home, but I couldn't really go anywhere. So it was like, it was just the same as being here basically, except for I got to see my family, which was great, obviously. I came back here because someone had reached out. I don't really even know this woman. She is so kind. We had a woman in like a neighboring town reach out to someone who knows Ray and was like, hey, like I have this 1 lane 25-yard pool like in my house if they want to come swim here. And so we were like, okay. So it's definitely like not the smoothest pool, like because it's like obviously it's kind of built like a hotel pool where there's like no gutters or anything like that, so It's like super wavy. But we've been doing that this week. We've only been able to go like we're only probably going to go maybe like 4 days a week or so because it is still like kind of a drive. but just to like kind of keep the feel of the water and stuff like that. And we've been doing some other stuff to stay in shape, doing some, you know, lifting of what we can and some CrossFit exercises and stuff. So we've been doing that a little bit. But yeah, that's kind of about it. So it's been a wild couple weeks, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who has a story similar to this. But yeah, that's what we've been doing here. And the group that we've had at this one lane pool, it's just been me, Lily, and Cody so far. So we're keeping it in small numbers. Sometimes Ray comes up, and sometimes Corey comes up. But
Gotcha.
yeah, that's what we've been doing.
Man, like, yeah, what a time.
It's wild.
It is. So how did you spend your time at home the week that you had with your family?
Probably a little bit lazier than I should have been. You know, well, it definitely, the virus, from the time that I got home, to the time I left was about 6 days. And, Michigan was one of the last states to get a case of coronavirus. And immediately when that happened, the governor shut down the whole state. But then, you know, in the 6 days that I was home, I live about like 15 minutes outside of Detroit. In that time span, Detroit is now like the 4th worst city in the country.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, isn't Detroit?
Days. Yeah. So it was pretty bad. So, and also, my dad is like pre-diabetic, so he's a little like immunocompromised, and my younger brother has Crohn's disease. So he's like he looks super healthy, but he's very immunocompromised. So my mom was like, no one else is going out to the store but me. Like, you know, I'm going to be the one doing that. Please don't go outside, you know, whatever. So,
yeah.
So I was kind of, you know, roped into that whole, you know, situation, even though thankfully I'm okay. But, you know, she's like, I'm the only one leaving the house. Like, that's just how it's going to be. And so I was like, all right, fair enough. Like, that's your only rule. That's fine. So, yeah, so my time in Michigan was good, but when it was time for me to come back, it was probably the right call. So yeah.
Yeah. How have you been spending your time outside of the workouts that you've been able to accomplish?
Yeah, my house is really clean right now. I'm like, I keep things tidy, but I'm not like a neat freak. So there's definitely like some work around the house that needed to get done. But yeah, I've had some time to do a little extra cooking, and I'm not like really as tired anymore. I still, I have like shoulder issues. So I've still been able to go to physical therapy for my shoulder, which is great. I kind of just like go there when, you know, like no one else is there because they're deemed like an essential business. So
nice.
I've thankfully still been able to go there. But yeah, I mean, I've really like my roommate is also a swimmer. And so, and then like, obviously I'm with people like Lily and Cody, like more than I'm with my actual family. So we're kind of like, well, if one of us is going to get it, we're all going to get it. So let's just, you know, keep in small numbers and keep with the people that we've been with, you know, but yeah, we started like a movie club. It's like a book club, but for movies. And it's like me and like all the pro girls. And so we like, for a while we were like picking one, like each person picked a movie to watch that night. And then we all watched it and we'd like talk about it the next day.
That sounds awesome.
Super lame, but yeah, that's what we were kind of doing to pass the time. So yeah, that's really all I can think of right now. Most of the college kids are gone. So yeah, it's been super quiet in Bloomington, but it's kind of nice to have that sometimes. So
definitely.
So yeah, it's been all good.
What did you watch in movie club?
A couple of the movies that we watched, Lily picked When Harry Met Sally.
Okay.
It's a classic. I'd seen it, like, I was shocked that a few of the girls hadn't seen it before, but it's a classic. I picked the movie The Way Back.
That's a good one.
Have you seen that? I love it. It's so good. Oh my God, it's so good. Yeah, so I picked that movie. I just thought it was a super cute, like, feel good movie.
Yeah, who's like there's like a bigger name
Steve
actor.
Carell.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like not the main character, but he's
Right.
definitely like a main
He's the
like
dad, right?
supporting. Yeah, he's like the
Okay.
stepdad or like the mom's boyfriend. Yeah,
Yeah.
super. He's like kind of like a jerk in that movie. But
Right.
yeah, no. So I picked that movie. Another one of the girls picked like The Princess Diaries or something. So we're kind of like all over the place. But yeah, so we kind of were doing that for a little while when everyone was still like here basically before like people kind of dispersed for a little while, so that's
Yeah.
how we kind of kept busy a little bit, so yeah.
Nice. So have you, obviously physically you've had to approach swimming differently in the
Hmm.
last few weeks.
Yeah.
Have you approached it differently mentally at all?
um if you were to ask me that question a few years ago, I would say like definitely yes. I think I would be having a much harder time with it than I am right now. um I truly believe like I had experiences in my swimming career prior to this year to allow me to deal with situations like this, and obviously you don't understand it when it's going on right then and there. You're kind of sitting there like having a pity party for yourself, but I truly believe like I had experiences in my swimming career prior to this whole situation that definitely prepared me mentally for this, because I mean it's obviously not the most ideal situation, but I definitely think I would have been a lot more worried and freaking out a lot more just about like staying in shape and being like trying to maintain right now than I really am actually. I'm normally very like pretty type A and someone that's like, okay, I have this plan, it has to go this way. And I feel like I just learned over the years that like there's multiple paths to success. There's not just a square that you need all of these different puzzle pieces in the square to be exactly fit correctly. I used to think that for a really long time, and if one little thing didn't go my way, I get really upset and freaked out about it. But I definitely think I've learned over the years, especially with the amount of time that I took off in 2016 to 2017. Like I genuinely think that there's not just one clear cut path to success. The only thing that really matters is like your drive and your motivation towards reaching your goals and being successful. That's really all that matters.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's kind of one of my favorite parts about this whole thing is that like people are, I don't know, I think your story and a lot of other people's stories who take time away from the sport,
Mm-hmm.
has showed people that I think there's this concept in swimming that it has to be 50 weeks a year kind of thing. And it's like,
Yeah.
really, that's not the case. And I think this is kind of forcing people um, to spend time out of the water. And I'm really excited to see what
Mm-hmm.
happens when people get back in the water.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's definitely, taught me. I was like, look, I took a year off and like, yeah, it took me, probably a little over a year to feel like I was back to where I used to be.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, you know what? Like I'm getting a pool a few times a week now. I'm being diligent about um just my mindset, quite frankly. I'm so thankful to like have the roommate that I have. Like she and I have been like doing this together like the last few weeks, along with like Lily and Cody. And we the whole time, like it's obviously not the most ideal situation, but I'm just thankful to be surrounded by this super small core group of people that are like, okay, like this is the situation and we have all the solutions that we can possibly come up with right now, and that's just what we have, and that's what we're going to have to deal with. And we're taking, I feel like the group that I have surrounding me is the most like realistically optimistic group that
Mm-hmm.
I could have in this situation. So genuinely, I would not have been able to go through the last few weeks without them, and just like seeing how other people are responding to it and just being really perceptive about the situation, how other people are handling it. Because I genuinely don't think, I think it would have been a lot harder to make those 2-hour drives by myself, as it would have
Yeah.
probably been with everyone else. So it was really, really great to have like those core group of people to be going through this with. I don't think it would have been the same otherwise.
Yeah. Have you you know, as hard as it is to have a routine right now, you know,
Yeah.
because things are changing every week, have you incorporated anything, you know, to kind of supplement physically swimming and working out to kind
Yeah.
of still, I don't know, I don't want to say train yourself, but just kind of
Yeah.
better yourself?
Yeah, I've tried running. I've tried it. I used to, it just takes a while to get back into it. I ran a lot during my year off of swimming.
Mhm.
You know, I was a decent like dry land person in college, but I never left college being like, I'm gonna be a runner now, you know, but I kind of like started to learn how to run, like along with like other people who I would work out with who kind of taught me how.
Mhm.
And it like takes some time, but once you like kind of understand it a little bit more, it's just like swimming, you know, you can't like start an all out sprint when you're going to run when you're going to swim a 5K or 10K. You got to just, you know, you got
Right.
to pace yourself. You can like, and it's obviously like when you're so used to swimming, you know that you know what your pace is, and you know, and like you just got to do the same thing with running. You got to figure out like, okay, I went a little too fast the first mile, and then I kind of died and I couldn't finish, you know, 3 miles. So let's maybe scale it back a little bit the first mile, and then I'll be able to go 5 miles, you know. So
Right.
that's definitely been something I've tried. Thankfully, I'm still able to swim like 4 times a week, 3 times a week. So it's not like something that I'm super worried about. Thankfully, we've been able to get some gym equipment, like a rowing machine and like like an assault bike.
Oh,
So
nice.
we've been able to do some cardio on those, and just like incorporating those cardio machines with just honestly just some like body weight exercises. I think that's, you know, I think that's really, you know, important whether you're in the pool or not in the pool. I genuinely think getting just like core stability, like in water and out of water is really essential. So that's something that I've really been able to, um, I had a focus on it when we were swimming.
Hmm.
But now I have a lot more time. So it's like, why not, you know, spend an extra 30 minutes in the gym like we did yesterday.
Hmm.
After we did our normal lift, we did like a 30-minute like cardio session afterwards. And, you know, it's, you know, we're doing what we can, and we're learning lots of different things. I think people are really starting to get into like the more like acrobatic side of like working out outside of the pool. I think Cody's super into it. So that's good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
One thing you mentioned earlier that I haven't really talked about with anyone, um, you said you've gotten a lot more sleep.
Yeah.
Like, I know for me, you know, it's like I'm usually like 10 to 7,
Yeah.
and like I can sleep 9 hours most nights, like
Yeah.
normally. Here, like the last few weeks, I've done that, and I'm like, I could sleep like a little more. And I'm like, how am I
Mm-hmm.
still sleeping 9 hours after like sitting at home all
I've done
day?
nothing all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, do
Yeah.
you kind of get that sense? Are you like, how much are you sleeping?
Yeah. I mean, we woke up to make the drive over to this woman's house to go swim this morning at 8:30. And I set my alarm for like 7:30, 7:45. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna like,
Mm-hmm.
it's a decent drive. So I'm like, I need to have like an actual breakfast
Mm-hmm.
before we go swim. And so I woke up at like 7:30, and I went to bed at like 10 last night or so.
Yeah.
My alarm went off at 7:30, and I was like, I could pound another like 2 hours right now. So it's just, I mean, I definitely think I do a good job of sleeping. Like when I do have practice at 5:45 in the morning, I'm
Mm-hmm.
definitely not past. I do not go to sleep past like 9:45.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, you're still waking up at 5, you're still working out 4 to 5 hours a day, and you know, like your body is fatigued, it's tired. I definitely have to like force myself to go to sleep a little bit more at nights now.
Mm-hmm.
um, but I mean, like, we're still working out, we're still, you know, doing what we can. And you know, the sleep element of things, it's having a little bit more discipline now. Like, I thought I was being disciplined when I was swimming, you know, 60 grand a week and 10 swim practices a week. But also like I would get really tired at like 8:45.
Right.
So, you know, it's more so, now like going to sleep because I'm like choosing to go to sleep, and
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, kind of telling my body it's time to go to bed versus, when it's like 7:30 and I'm like ready to go to sleep, and I'm like, no, you got to wait like 30 more minutes and then you can like start getting ready for bed. It's like the other way around.
Right. 6 p.m. is not acceptable.
Yeah. I'm like in my pajamas, like cooking dinner at like 5:30, and I'm like, this is fine.
Are you someone who falls asleep pretty easily,
Oh my
or do you
God,
have,
yes.
okay.
Oh, I fall asleep. Oh my gosh, you'll have to ask my boyfriend. Like I'll like fall asleep like 20 minutes into a movie. And I like when I first fall asleep, I twitch a lot.
Yeah.
So I will literally, and I don't even feel it. And he's like sitting there, like trying to watch this movie, and I'm like shaking the couch. Like, I'm like asleep, like passed out. And I didn't even realize it. And then I'll like wake up and he's like, how are you falling asleep? This is like the best part. And I'm like, I'm tired. Like, I fall asleep in like less than 5 minutes every night, I would say. Like,
Okay.
very rarely does it take me a long time to fall asleep. Thankfully,
Yeah.
I'm very lucky.
That's how I am too, which, yeah, I think my significant other gets annoyed by that. But yeah, it's a really great skill to have.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, cool. Any closing thoughts you've got on our current situation?
Yeah. I mean, for me, the thing that I have to remind myself of, that I hope other people can take from this, and I learned this through trial and error, through experiences where I didn't believe this, or I didn't really think about this, I guess, is that no matter the situation, no matter the scenario, no matter the hardship, you're still the same athlete that you were prior to not having a pool or not having a gym or your coach leaving or whatever it may be. The Olympics being postponed, you're still the same athlete. And I've had to, continue to remind myself. And I think I'm just like really lucky to be surrounded by just super people with just super elite mindsets like Lily and Cody. Like really, I am. They've reminded me also that like, hey, like I'm still on track to do the things that I wanted to do this summer. It's going to be next summer, and that's fine. And, kind of, going along with that you have to constantly remind yourself that you're the same athlete with a different plan. There's not a perfect formula for success. And right now, I think, all of us, elite swimmers, elite athletes everywhere, business owners, whatever it may be right now, like we're all still the same person with the same work ethic, with the same goals. Just that goal is just going to have a different path now. That's all. And so I've had to constantly remind myself of that a little bit. And I hope other people can take away from that as well.
I think you said it all.
Nailed it.
Well, cool. Thank you so much for your time, Annie.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.